Good evening, everyone. Today I'll be taking a class on how to make an automatic dispenser. Okay, you know that we are right now in the crisis of COVID 19. So, in order to help the other students and the faculty members also, in order to make this by themselves, okay, so they get an opportunity to make something that they know about, okay, in their real life, so they can make a custom built automatic dispenser by themselves. Okay, so here I will be providing you just a little basic concepts of how to make one. Okay, so first let me introduce myself. Okay, and I will be your instructor for the next few days on the automatic dispenser. Okay, so my name is Ayush Nair. I am an Autodesk student ambassador. And currently I'm in the final year of the Providence College of Engineering in BTech. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, the software that we are going to use in our making of the automatic dispenser will be Tinkercad and Fusion 360. Okay, so the Tinkercad will allow us to do a simulation. Okay, to do a simulation of how to make the electronic parts, how to assemble the electronic parts together in order to make a automatic dispenser. Okay, so now let's move on. Okay, so that will be in our day one today. So today I will be teaching you how to use the Tinkercad, and the day two I will be teaching you how to use Autodesk Fusion 360, which is a modeling software. Okay, so the Autodesk Fusion 360 will be used for making the casing and the body that we will 3D print on the next day itself and assemble the parts. Okay, so these are our schedule. On day one, we will be using Autodesk Tinkercad. On day two, we will be using Fusion 360. And on day three, we will be assembling the models which are made using the Tinkercad and the Fusion 360. Okay, so in day one, I'm going to take a session of about how can we simulate the electronic parts of the automatic dispenser. Okay, so we'll be using Autodesk Tinkercad for that. Okay, so we have the circuit diagram, we have the coding and all those. So we'll be making a automatic dispenser. Okay, so on the day one, what we are going to look at it is the circuit and the programming. Okay, first of all, what we have to do is we have to go on to uh, the Autodesk Tinkercad software, which will be easily available by going to Google Chrome and typing Tinkercad. Okay, so Autodesk Tinkercad is also a modeling software just like Fusion 360, but Tinkercad is much more simpler when compared to the Fusion 360. Okay, there are no complex design techniques involved in Fusion 360. I mean, in the Tinkercad. Okay, okay, so let me just share you my screen on how to make. Okay, so this is the dashboard that we get in our Tinkercad after logging in. Okay, so first of all, what we have to do is let me just teach you what all things the Tinkercad have. Okay, what are all these software features that we have? Because the first thing is the 3D design. Okay, so we can design anything that we want to using the Autodesk Tinkercad. So it's basically a modeling software. Okay, so well you can see here I have designed something. Okay, so all your design thing will come on to your this dashboard itself, and the other thing is the circuit. Okay, the Autodesk Tinkercad also provides us the circuits where we can simulate the circuit. Okay, so already I have done the hand dispenser that we are going to make today. Okay, and the other one is the code blocks. Okay, so by using these code blocks, we can generate images. Okay, which is a newer, in the new feature which has been introduced into the Autodesk Tinkercad. Then we have lessons. Okay, so that's all about the interface. Okay, so let me just show you some simple designs that we can do by using Tinkercad. Okay, so right now we have a work plane. Okay, so in this work plane, we are going to draw, or like we are going to place some shapes, the basic shapes that we have. So over to the right hand side, you can see there are Tinkercad basic shapes. Okay, so these are the basic shapes that we use in our daily life. See, you can see the box, cylinder, sphere, roof, cone, okay, wedge, pyramid, polygon. So what we have to do is we just have to drag and drop all these things into our work plane in order to modify them. Okay, so let me just make a simple thing. Okay, so here I have drag and drop the box. Yeah, and right now I can just change the dimensions of these box very easily just by dragging it. Okay, so let, let us say I need a 50 millimeter. Okay, so here you can see I made a a box of 50 millimeter. Now I need to change the width. Then I'm going to click here in this node, and then I'm going to extend it to about 30. Okay, so we got the 30 millimeter. Now one thing is that you can always change your dimensions. Okay, now how can you change? You can see at the bottom right side of the screen that here, uh, edit grid. Okay, so while editing the grid you can change the units to millimeter or inches or even bricks also. Okay, so that's what you can do, and we can always change the work plane width and length also. Okay, and then we have to click on the upgrade grid. Okay, so that's how we import an object or import a shape into Tinkercad. Okay, so this was a basic box. So let me just introduce another box also to make a hole in it. Okay, so right now you can see I have made a hole in it. Okay, now I'm going to click enter. Okay, so right now I'm going to join the both shapes together, combine. Okay, so now you can see we have a hole in it. See, so it's that much easier to make a component or to make any kind of body using Tinkercad. Okay, so now let's move on to our part that we are going to focus on today. So which is about the circuit design in the hand dispenser. Okay, so let me just go back. So Tinkercad is actually much easier to learn when compared to other Autodesk software. So that's why the word Tinkercad comes. Okay, so it's much basic. It's having a basic interface, click and drop, like that kind of thing. So you can easily always learn how to draw or how to make an object using Tinkercad. Okay, so right now I'm going to select this circuit and I'm going to click on create new circuit. Okay. Okay, so this is our work plane right now. On the right hand side, you can see components over here. I hope you all can see it. Okay, so right now clicking on these components, you can see basic components or all components. There are also starters like basic components, the Arduino components, and the things that we need for the circuit assemblies, and everything that comes under the starter. Okay, so so right now let me just like show you how to create a basic circuit. Okay, so let's just make use of a blink LED. Okay, let's just blink the LED. So for that, I'm using a coin cell. So you can see, I can just click and drag it over here. Right now, I'm dropping my coin battery, which is of 3 volt over here. Okay, and the next will be our LED. So I'm going to click and drag this LED over here. Okay, and the next thing will be our push button. Okay, which is our switch. Okay, so all the components that we need are here in our work plane, right? Okay, so what next I'm going to do is I'm going to do the connections. Okay, the wiring connections. Okay, so I'm going to click on this negative, and I'm going to click on the negative of our LED. Okay, so I clicked it over here, and the next thing is that we can use the switch. We have to connect it through a switch. So clicked on the positive terminal, clicked on the switch, and from this switch I will click on the anode of the LED. Okay, so right now our circuit is complete. See, this is a basic circuit, just how to connect an LED to a coin battery. Okay, so see, I can just start simulation and see, as I push the the LED starts glowing. Okay, so this is how you can easily make a circuit using the circuit work design on the Tinkercad. Okay, and you can always name your project also. Okay, so right now this is a basic LED, so I'm going to title it as basic LED circuit. Okay, I have changed the heading, I have made the circuit, and then you have the option to export the circuit also. Okay, so uh, for the for the mass manufacturing and all those things, we always require a circuit board. Okay, so you can always export these file into .brd format, which is used in the Eagle, which is Autodesk another software. Okay, so by using Eagle, you can always make a PCB by using the same file. Okay, and the other thing is that you can always share your files with others also. Okay, you can invite other people over the email, or you can download your download the image of the circuit that you have drawn, and then you can download it. Okay, so that's about the basic interface. Okay, so you can see here on the right hand side, by while clicking the these button over here, which is right next to the components the basic components list. Okay, on the right hand side of that part, you can see a button, and when you click that button, you can see that the components are there with their information, like what are these components, where are these components used. Okay, so see, for each and every object there is a explanation. Okay, like how are these used, where are these used, what all project that you can use, what is the purpose of that specific component, all are specified over here. Okay, so these are pretty much useful for the starters in electronics and electrical projects. Okay, so the one more thing that I forgot to mention is that this is all cloud based. Okay, so you don't have to save this design always. As you make the circuit, the designs are saved back to back in the cloud of Autodesk software. Okay, it's always stored in the Autodesk cloud software, cloud servers. Okay, so I'm going back to my Tinkercad dashboard. Okay, and then I'm going to select the circuits. See, 3 minutes ago, you can see here. This is the circuit that we made just now. Okay, so now you have seen how to make a basic circuit using Autodesk Tinkercad. So right now let's move on to little more complex things. Okay, the hand dispenser that we are going to make. Okay, so select the create new circuit. The newer page will load. Okay, so we got our work plane ready. Okay, so for making the hand dispenser, we basically three components. Okay, the one is the Arduino, which will act as the motherboard of our project. Okay, so what Arduino is, it is a basically a microcontroller. Okay, so you can see here the Arduino Uno R3. Okay, so let us see using this format. Okay, so you can see Arduino Uno R3, a programmable board you can use to build interactive circuits. See, okay, so this is having an 8-bit microcontroller, 8-bit Atmel microcontroller. Okay, so how we have to put it in our work plane? We just have to drag and drop. Okay, so I have clicked over the Arduino Uno R3, and then I am going to drop it over here. Okay, so this is our Arduino. Now we have to use sensors. Okay, so as you go near the hand dispenser, you will show your hands just beneath the nozzle from where the liquid will come out. Okay, so when you place your hand over there, we will put a sensor to sense any obstacles which are coming to the which is, the obstacles which are in right in front of it. Okay, so for that we can use either an IR LED. Okay, or you can use ultrasonic sensor. Okay, so it basically depends upon what you are going to use. So here I am going to use an ultrasonic sensor. Okay, okay, so let's go to all components, or you can see we will get a Arduino sensor board from the Arduino starters pack. Okay, so I am going to the starter Arduinos. So right there you can see our projects which are done, which are pre-run there over there. Okay, so let us select the, okay, so we got our ultrasonic distance sensor. Okay, so you can see we got two sensors here. Okay, so from this we have to select this one which is having 4 pins overhead. Okay, which like one is the VCC, another one is the ground, another one is the trigger, and another one is the receiver. Okay, so this is the ultrasonic distance sensor. So I'm going to click and drag it over our work plane. Okay, I've done that. Okay, so we got our Arduino ready and our ultrasonic sensor ready. Now the next thing that we need is a servo motor. Okay, so let us go to the servo motor. Okay, so there are servo motors here. Okay, so I'm going to take this micro servo. over here and drag it over this place. Okay, so right now we got our servo motor, we got our ultrasonic sensor, and we got our Arduino Uno. Okay, so now let's do the connections. Okay, so for doing the connections, you just have to click on the terminals of these components. Okay, see, in each and every place you can just put your mouse over there, you can just hover it over there, and a red spot will be there which you have to click in order to connect the wires. See, okay, so so the wiring, I'm just going to explain it right now. Okay, so for connecting, first let's start with the ultrasonic sensor. Okay, so in ultrasonic sensor we have our VCC. Okay, so this VCC is the pinout from which the ultrasonic sensor will get the power. Okay, so our Arduino is basically, it can run from around let's say from 8 to 5 volt. Okay, so from here you can see we can get an output of 5 volt from the Arduino Uno itself. So I am going to click at this 5 volt, which is the VCC. I am going to click it over here, and then I am going to drag it over the VCC of the ultrasonic sensor. Okay, and so we have just given the positive lead to the sensor, and right now we are going to give the negative lead. Okay, so the negative in terms of electronics we say it as ground signal. Okay, so I'll select the ground. So here you can see in the Arduino we have two ground. Okay, this was the 5 volt, this is the ground, and this is also ground. Okay, so I am going to select one pin over here, and then I am going to drag it over the ground. Okay, okay, let me just delete it, and so I placed it over here. Okay, so you can see while we are dragging it along, we just have to press the middle button of the mouse scroller, so it will have a 90-degree bend over it. Okay, okay, so like that we can just make our connections. Okay, so as this is a 5 volt, I am going to mark it as red color. Okay, and the next one will be our ground, which is the next. Okay, so now we have to select the ground pin, and then we have to drag it over the ground pin of the ultrasonic sensor. Okay, like this you can connect our ground pin also. The ground pin are always black color, so I'm going to select a black. Some of them are also using brown color also. Okay, so right now I'm going to use a black one. Okay, so we got our red and black, which is our VCC and ground. Okay, the 5 volt and the ground pins. And right now we have two more pins also, which are the ground pin and the, I mean, which are the trigger and the echo pin also. So the trigger pin will go to the digital pin 5. Okay, so we got the digital pins over here. You can see. Okay, so you can see the digital PWM, which is the pulse width modulation. Okay, so this is the pulse width modulation, and I'm going to connect the trigger pin to the digital pin 5. Okay, so this is the digital pin 5. You can see D5 over here. Okay, I hope you can see it. Okay, so I have selected it and I'm going to connect it over the trigger pin, just right here. Okay, so for the signal pins, you can give it any color. Right now, I'm going to give it a yellow and white colors. Okay, so we got the trigger, and the next one is the echo. So echo will go to the digital pin 6. So I'll be selecting digital pin 6, and okay. Okay, so here I'll be selecting the white color. Okay. So here we have done all the connections to the our sensors. Okay. So you can just move around these sensors also if you need to. Okay. So I'm okay with the previous position. Okay. So this is how we have done our wiring to the ultrasonic sensor. Okay. One more thing which I forgot to mention was the sensor name. Okay. It is HCSR04 sensor. So it will be useful if you are going to buy it over your hardware shops. It's available in all the electronic shops around your city, and in online also you may get to buy it. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to give connection to my servo motors. Okay, so basically there are three pins in our servo motor. Okay, so you can see here the first pin is the ground pin. Okay, and the next pin is the power. Okay, so our micros, I mean the servo motor works in 5 volts, and the other one will be our signal pin. Okay, so I'm going to click on this ground pin. So here I have selected my ground pin, and I'm going to give it to the Arduino. Okay, so here we connected our ground pin. Okay, so the ground pin is always black or brown, so I'm going to color it as black. Okay, the next thing is our VCC, which is the power supply. So I'm going to click it over here, and for this also we are going to take the power supply from the Arduino itself. So I'll go like this. Okay, so right now we are connected to the power supply, and for the power supply, which is the 5 volt, I am going to give it a red color. Okay, so our circuit is 90% complete. We have one more pin to give, okay, which will be our signal pin from the servo motor. Okay, so I have selected this servo signal pin, and we have to give it to the D7. We have to give the signal pin to the D7 of our Arduino. This is the digital signal from the PWM part. Okay, I'll just show you. Let's do it once more. Okay, so I'm going to give the signal pin in some other color. Let it be orange color. Okay, so right now I have done the all the connections. Okay, these are our connections, and if I want, I can always share this with any of the like colleagues or anyone who want to see how the circuit diagram looks like. Okay, I can always share them using the email ID, or I can always share them it as a JPEG also, okay, which is the image file, and I can export it in a board also, okay, in the circuit board format. Okay, so we have done all the connections, but you can see, like if I just start simulation right now, as we did in the previous one, I have started the simulation. I have powered my Arduino. Okay, so here you can see there is a power signal in our Arduino. Okay, hope everyone can see it. Okay, so here is the power signal. Okay, and how do we know the Arduino is on? The status indicator of the LED will be glowing. Okay, which is here. You can see the status signal is on. If I just stop the simulation, this was turn off. You can see. Okay, you can see the light has been turned off. Okay, as I start the simulation, the light will turn on. Okay, okay, so and here also in the live LED. Okay, uh, so right here also you can see the LED is blinking. Okay, so this is also a status indicator which will show the Arduino is powered up. Okay, so we can just stop the simulation. Okay, so this is how we did the electronics parts. Okay, the electronic part of our today's session. So the next one will be the programming part. Okay, so I have written the program for the hand dispenser. Okay, so let me just first change the title also. I'll make it as a hand dispenser. Okay, so we got our heading also. Okay, right here. Okay, so for coding, I have to select this code, which is a code editor in the Tinkercad itself. Okay, so now you can let me just tell you, as I started this simulation, you have saw that this status LED was glowing, right? Why? Because the program was set like that. See, set built-in LED to high. Wait for 1 second, then set the built-in LED to low. So basically here high means on and low means off. Okay. So what it will do? It will turn on the LED, wait for 1 second, turn off the LED and wait for 1 second. Then it will repeat the iteration again and again. So I'll just start the simulation. And here you can see it is blinking. Then it will wait for 1 second. Then it will blink again. Okay. So this is how the simulation part works. Okay, so like this also you can program, or if you like the more conventional type of programming, okay, which is the text only part. Okay, you can also use the blocks plus text also, or otherwise you can use only text. Okay, so I'll continue with only text, and I'll just delete whatever is here. So I've pre-written the code. Okay, I'll just copy it from our older design. So this is our code right now. Um, just let me just zoom it in a bit for you. So this is our program. Okay. The first thing is that we have to include the library for the server to work. Okay. So I have included my library, which is include hash include server.h. Okay. So the server.h is a header file. It's a header file from the library for the server motor to work. Okay. Then I just name the server as server it is. Like I have just initialized it, and then I have initialized the trigger pin and the echo pin. Okay, so right here let me just zoom it in. Okay, so right here you can see the VCC trigger, echo and ground, right? Okay, so we got our hash include dot serve hash include server dot h. So we have initialized server also. We have initialized our trigger pin. Okay, you can see here trigger pin, which is given to our digital pin 5. Okay, so I hope you guys remember how we did it, right? We have connected our trigger pin, okay, which is this pin, over to our PWM signal of the digital pin 5. See the yellow wire coming to D5. Okay, so we have initialized the trigger pin also. Now we have to initialize our echo pin, which is 6. Okay, so here you can see echo. This is the white wire and it's coming to the digital PWM signal 6. And for the servo pin, okay, which is over here, which is the signal pin, okay, you can see here signal. So this pin is connected to the 7. Okay, so we have initialized the servo pin 7 also. Okay, and we have initialized the LED, okay, which is the status LED of our project. Okay, so this is our now the things that we are going to include is the duration, distance, average, and the long average, which is an array for the average. Okay, it will store the values. Okay, so this duration is how long, like for how long you will put your hand beneath that nozzle for the soap solution or the sanitizer solution to come out, and the distance is the minimum distance which will be present over there, and the average will be taken to do the all the algorithms and all that. Okay, so let us begin with our void setup. Okay, so we have done our signal begin at 9600. Okay, so what 9600 is? It is basically a baud rate. Okay, it's a baud rate for the Arduino to work. So we have selected the Arduino baud rate to be around 9600, and the next one is the servo attach. This is the servo pin. Okay, so and then there are two pin modes also, which is the trigger pin and the echo pin. Okay, so we all know what trigger means, right? We have to trigger something. So this ultrasonic sensor triggers an ultrasonic wave. Okay, it will send out an ultrasonic wave which is inaudible to humans. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just trigger the ultrasonic sound, and the echo pin, okay, the echo pin will receive the signals which is been provided by the trigger pin. Okay, so trigger pin act as a trigger for the echo pin to receive. Okay, so the trigger pin basically act as a transmitter and the echo pin will act as a receiver. Okay. uh, okay, so the next one is the servo write 0 with a delay of 100. Okay, so what this 100 means is this is the I mean this is the delay. Okay, I mean it is the millisecond. It is 100 millisecond for the program to write and iterate again and again. Okay, and then servo detach. Okay, so what will first do is it will measure. Okay, so digital wire 10 high, digital write the trigger pin to low, delay for a microsecond of 5, and digital write trigger pin high and delay for 15 seconds. Okay, so what it will do is it will measure the distance first. How will it measure the distance? It will first it will do is it will trigger the pin. Okay, and then what happens? It will wait for 5 seconds and then it will trigger the pin high. Okay, so at first the trigger pin will be in low mode, which is the off. Okay, so the low means off and the high means on. So at first this trigger pin will be at low, and then after a 5 millisecond, what will happen? It will turn on. Okay, and then after 15 milliseconds, it will turn low again. Okay, so this is how the output part works. Okay, the output part of our program, and then the pin mode, which is the echo pin. Okay, now this is the receiver. Okay, so the receiver pin will be low, which is the input, and the echo pin input will receive any kind of signals which are triggered by the trigger pin, which was high at that duration. Okay, so what we'll do is it will calculate the duration, which is the pulse input, which is echo pin high, and then we'll get the duration, like when I triggered the signal and when it reached back. So that distance, I mean the time taken for the signal to reach over the obstacle and come back is the duration. Okay, so how will you find the distance? Is that we just divide the duration by 2 and the whole divided by 29.1. Okay, so what we'll do is it will obtain distance, and now what we have to do is we'll put it inside a loop. Okay, which into a for loop, which will find the average distance. Okay, so it will well, you may know that it is happening in microseconds. Okay, you can see it is happening in 5, 15 microseconds. So you can just imagine how fast it is doing that. Okay, so what we'll do is it will find the average distance. Okay, so right now what we have done with this equation, with this math equation, what we have done is we have find the distance. Okay, so there may be a question why 29.1 came. Okay, so what this 29.1 means is that it is the speed. Okay, so we know the basic equation for finding the distance. It is distance is equal to time by speed, right? Okay, so by using that equation, we'll find the distance, and then what we'll do is we'll find the average distance. So for that we need to include the array, and that's why we have included an array over here. You can see long average of 3, right? Okay, so what it will do is it will first initialize I as 0, and if I is less than or equal to 2, then it will increment its value to I plus 1. Okay, so just I plus plus, and then it will measure, and the I will give it the value of the distance. Okay, so which distance will it give? The distance that we calculated right over here. Okay, okay, so after getting the average distance, it will delay for 10 milliseconds, and what will happen? It will go to the other iteration. Okay, after this iteration is over, it will come out of the loop, and then it will do the calculation, which is distance is equal to average of 0 plus average of 1 plus average of 3. So what it will do is it will find the I mean, it will do the iteration for 3 times and then it will give the output. Okay, so if the average of 0, 1 and 2 and divide by 3 will give the average distance, okay, which is over here. Okay, so we will get the average distance. And if the average distance is less than 30 centimeter, okay, so if the distance is less than 30 centimeter, what we'll do is the servo attached pin, okay, the servo pin will write 0, and then after a delay of 3 seconds it will write 150, and by 150 it's a PWM signal, so it will give signal to a servo motor to rotate, and then after 1 second delay the servo will detach and this loop will continue on. So this is our program. Okay, so I hope you got a good idea of how the program works. So this is our circuit diagram. Okay, so what we are going to do now is we'll just start simulation. Okay, so I'll just click here, start simulation. Okay, so you can see the on indicator is in green color. Okay, so the Arduino is being powered up. You can also see that over here also. Okay, so the power has been provided. Okay, so in the code itself we have written that if the distance is less than 30 degree, I mean less than 30 centimeter, then only it will trigger our servo, right? So I have to click it over the sensor, and here this is our obstacle. See, this is our obstacle. So if the obstacle, which will be our hand in the case of this hand dispenser, it will, as we put our hand near the sensor, so what happens is you can see the distance is decreasing. See here the distance is decreasing. Okay, this 144 centimeter it will get decreased, you can see, and till where it will decrease, it will decrease till 30, and after the 30 is being reached the servo motor will act. Okay, so you can see as I come closer to around 29 centimeter. Okay, you can see the servo motor is rotating. It will wait for 1 second delay and then it will rotate. See, right now my obstacle is at 29.1 centimeter. So as it reaches 30 centimeter, it will start working. So you can see it's 30.1 right now. Okay, so you can see this is how our servo motor will work in the case of a hand dispenser. Okay, so today in today's session we have learned about how we can use Arduino, we can use our servo motor and the ultrasonic sensor to detect an obstacle and how to trigger the servo motor. Okay, so now this servo motor will be driving our circuit. Okay, I mean it will be driving our hand dispenser. Okay, it will be pushing the nozzle downwards in order to uh, put the soap solution outwards. Okay, so this was our all about the today's session. So I hope all of you have understood well enough. Any queries you can post it on Google Classroom or you can post it over here also. So it's our time for Q&A session. Okay, so
Hello. Hello, is it audible?
yes, come on, you can speak.
Yes, sir. Whatever you explained, that is very good. I'm trying a first time this Thinkercad. Uh,
Okay.
Even whatever the explanation given by you, that is good. But little bit code understanding is difficult. So maybe tomorrow you can explain in detail about the whole procedure by
Yeah,
using a
sure.
flow graph or something.
Yes, sure. I'll be tomorrow also.
Thank you, sir, from my side.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Any other questions? Well, I'll be putting this whole video in the YouTube also, so you can check it over there also if you need to. And I'll just put the code also over there in the description, so you can always check it on there. And I'll be posting all these stuffs in the Google Classroom also. So if you want to cross check, you can always do it. Okay, so any other question? We have time till 7 p.m. So 4 more minutes to go. If anyone wants to ask any questions regarding this, you may. Okay, so I'm going to wind up this session. Okay, thank you for all the feedbacks. Okay, I've got so many feedbacks in the chat session right now. Okay, so thank you all. Let's meet tomorrow. So tomorrow, I'll just explain all these codes again once more, and again, and then we'll move on to our Fusion 360 to design the body. Okay, so the designing of the body is a little bit uh, like tackier. Okay, like you need a pre knowledge of how like how the software will work. So let's work it on tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. Okay, so you'll be seeing that how we can make something from the digital model. Okay, how we can you do the digital modeling of this using Fusion 360, and how we can 3D print it. Okay, I'll also be teaching you how to 3D print the object. Okay, like before going into the 3D printer, what all procedure, what all steps that we have to take. Okay, so this is what we are going to do tomorrow. And on the third day, I'll be doing the 3D printing, and then I'll be assembling the parts on the next day. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to wind up my session. Okay, so one is, yeah, YouTube channeling. Okay, so I'll be posting all these stuffs over the Google Classroom today itself. Okay, thank you. Thank you all for joining. Let's meet tomorrow.